Hi, so now we're going to be putting two figures together and getting their volume. So instead of getting the volume of one figure, you'll be getting the volume of two separate ones and then adding them together. So before going into that, I first wanted to clear up the difference between the big B in some of the formulas rather than what a lot of you guys have been using, which is the lowercase b. When we're talking about solids, that big B for all these formulas that are on the reference sheet for the Regents, all of these formulas are on there. That big B is referring to the area of the base. These area formulas are also on the reference sheet. So when you have this B, you have to decide which shape the base is. Is it a triangle? Is it a parallelogram, which includes rectangles and squares? Or is it a circle base? And these are the formulas you would use to get the area of the base and then plug it in for the B. So I took some pictures. The big B means the area of the base, different from the little b, which is the base of a two-dimensional shape. So these three examples here are two-dimensional shapes, like a triangle that has base and height, a rectangle that has base and height, and a parallelogram that has base and height. These would all be little b, the base of a two-dimensional shape. Then I took three-dimensional shapes, which are all either a pyramid or a cone, but could be a prism also. The big B would be referring to the entire area of the base. So in this case, it would be the triangle. In this case, it would be a square. In this case, it would be a circle. And the whole area of that base is what the big B is referring to. So please don't be plugging in just a number for the big B. It takes a whole step to find that area. So here's the first example, and don't just copy the work down. I'm not even putting this into the filled-in drive. I want you to listen to how I did it. I broke this down into the cylinder and the rectangular prism. Okay, the cylinder uses the formula volume equals pi r squared h. The radius is 1 inch. The height of the cylinder, I had to take this whole height 8 of the whole object and subtract 2 because that's the height of the prism on the bottom. And that gave me the 6 for the height of the cylinder. So I used 1 for the radius, 6 for the height, and plugged in to the volume of the cylinder formula, got 6 pi. Then the figure on the bottom is a prism. There's that big B times h. To get the big B, I use length times width because it's a square. The length and the width of the base are 4, so I did 4 times 4, which is 16. That 16 is what goes in for the big B in the volume formula for the prism. 16 is the area of the base, the area of that square. Then I times it by 2, which is the height of the prism. That gives me 32. And since the direction said to keep in terms of pi if necessary, I put the sum of the two parts, the volume of the cylinder, 6 pi, plus the volume of the prism, 32. If they told you to round it, I would put this whole thing in the calculator, 6 pi plus 32, and round that number.